Welcome to the Reddit library. Today, we'll be looking at r/AskReddit, where user German900 posted, "Teachers of Reddit, what is the smartest/most creative way of cheating that you've seen?" In a lot of my college courses, I wasn't allowed to use anything higher than a TI-84, so I took the guts out of my TI-89 and swapped it into my TI-84. Never got caught. Oh damn, that's the way to do it. I remember a story from my OChem professor. This student all semester who wasn't showing up to class kept getting his score improved significantly after regrades. They got their tests back, had a day to review them, and were allowed to resubmit for a regrade. They knew he was cheating because of the unlikelihood of the grading mistakes on multiple exams, but the TAs who graded it couldn't confidently say it wasn't their handwriting. Ultimately, it was an office worker for the department who figured out near the end of the semester his staples were angled different than the exams handed out that were mass stapled. He was recreating the test, printing it, re-answering it, and then grading it in the same pen as the TAs and had done a good job copying the writing style. Aw, such a small detail. RIP. Not sure if this would work anymore, but if I had a paper to write on a book I didn't read, I would find a well-written paper online, then translate the entire thing from English to German, German to French, French to Spanish, then Spanish back to English. Hold the original paper and the new one up side by side, and clean up the grammar on the new paper, and you've got the same concept but written just different enough to not be plagiarism. Worked like a charm. We had one teacher, probably 2005-ish, who barely spoke English. A couple of the guys would just take an article, swap the first and last halves of each sentence, and hand it in. Because he spoke the most broken English, he was Chinese. He wasn't able to distinguish it from proper English. This is before the anti-plagiarism tools we have today. My teacher shared with us a story about how since she allowed eating during her tests, one person pulled out a giant bag of M&Ms and ate a specific color corresponding to A, B, C, D. It was a two-student duo, and they only got caught when another student ratted them out. Edit. Grammar. What a snitch. Not the student, but the teacher. So, the teacher, let's call him Mr. A, had a reputation for being a phenomenal teacher who had every student engaged/invested in his class, no matter how mundane the subject. Anytime he asked a question, every student's hand would shoot in the air with them shouting things like, "Call on me," or "I know the answer." Simply, Mr. A developed a reputation in the district as one of the best teachers. Fast forward a couple of years and I'm grabbing coffee with Mr. A and I asked him, "What's your trick? How did you get every student bought in?" His response, "Well, I told the kids every time we had a visitor in class, I need you all to raise your hand like I was giving away free candy. But if you don't know the answer, raise your left hand. If you do know it, raise your right hand so I know who to call on and we all look good." Worked like a charm. Finnish schools also used this method when we were still occupied by Russia in order to look good to the inspectors. Edit. Finland was under Russian rule, not occupied. Sorry, I didn't proofread and English isn't my native language. I was supervising a final chemistry exam along with another coworker. Not 15 minutes in, a hand slams down on a desk and I turn around expecting the worst, only to see my coworker angrily shouting at a pair of really frightened 10th graders whose desk he smashed. Amidst the shouting, I caught the words, "Morse code." The guy proceeded to take them to the office. I called a hallway supervisor to take over and ran after the group. Apparently, the kids were silently tapping the answers amongst themselves in Morse code. Not even with their fingernails, just their fingertips. I never heard a thing. My coworker happened to catch B in Morse code or something. I honestly thought he finally went crazy solely because of his appearance. Picture Robin Williams in Jumanji going, "What year is it?" I'm 100% sure that if this coworker weren't in the room, they'd have gotten away with it for sure. So they learned Morse code but couldn't study for a test. Amazing. Learning A, B, C, and D in Morse code is definitely easier. In elementary/middle school, we had to write a paragraph each week featuring all the vocabulary words included in that unit. One clever kid wrote something along these lines. One day, kid's name, had to write a paragraph for English class. He sat down, picked up a pen, and used these words in it. Proceeds to list out all the words. The teacher only let it go once because she never saw that happen until then. That reminds me of a time in my high school Spanish class where we had to make a skit including a list of vocab words and it had to be 4 minutes long. So the skit went, in Spanish, "Hey amigo, we have to write a skit containing lists out words." "Oh, okay, what time is it?" "It is 1:30, but I put my watch on my table, we can tell the time." "Okay, what is Jose's phone number?" "It is..." numbers. "What is Maria's phone number?" They continue wasting time by asking random phone numbers while staring intently at the watch. After 4 total minutes have passed, "Ah, the bell. It is time to go to class. Bye bye. I think they got a B." One of my old teachers told us a story about a student who had rigged up a tiny scroll of paper in his wristwatch with notes written on it. He turned the scroll by winding the watch. He ended up getting caught because he was winding his watch so much during the exam, but the teacher loved the creativity. In high school, I was in a computer-based learning program and our science tests were taken digitally. However, they used a program where once you entered the test, your entire screen was locked into the test and the only way to exit it was to click the finish button on the test or turn off the computer, which effectively did the same thing. Another feature of the program was that once you were in the test, anything you had in your clipboard, copied text, was not able to be pasted into the answer sections on the test to prevent the only other way to cheat. However, after creating my own classroom at home, making fake tests and playing with their program to figure out a way to cheat, I realized that it would allow you to copy things from inside the test and place them anywhere in this test. The developers of the program also did not take into account the sign-in screen where you have to find the test and enter it. Long story short, I could copy my entire page of notes I had taken on the test material, paste it into the section where I would enter my login information, then recopy it, enter the test, and paste it again in one of the answer sections, using it to answer every question and then deleting it before clicking finish. I work as a web developer for a college. Stuff like this makes me paranoid about everything I do. Some smart CS tried to break everything in our portal one semester, just out of boredom. Best student worker I've ever had. The most dangerous mind is a bored genius. If OP is a student crowdsourcing cheating strategies, then this is one of the most creative ways of cheating that I've seen. Either that or he's a teacher. My exams that used a graphic calculator, TI-84, required us to show the examiners a proof of reset screen before the papers started, so instead of actually studying for my papers, I painstakingly redrew the proof of reset screen pixel by pixel in the TI-84's pixel art program and stored all my notes in it. Our calculator had a storage feature too. Once you open the battery cover, it turns off, and on next start, it shows the reset screen. We had to open the cover and let the teacher press OK to reset. No way of cheating there. If it's a TI calculator, set a really simple program to launch on startup with a fake reset screen in OK box. You are all such sophisticated cheaters. I just stuck a cheat sheet in the TI cover and peeked at it when the teacher wasn't looking. Thanks, oblivious high school statistics teacher. Old school. Not a teacher, but I used to use one of those rectangular erasers because the pencils the teacher gave us were cheap and the erasers only smudged the marks. The eraser came in a cardboard sleeve and I ripped it open and would write the test answers on it, then erase it after exams for reuse. College physics. Girl with a really intricate tattoo on her leg wrote formulas in between the tattoo lines. Even looking closely, you couldn't tell unless you knew what you were looking for. You could tell it was test day because she wore shorts. So then how'd you find out? I think I saw this one. Teacher is checking out the student's legs and ends up finding out she's cheating. He threatens to suspend her, unless... Oh yeah, I saw this too. There was only her, another girl, and the teacher in the exam room. They all looked 25 plus sitting on primary school desks. High school kids recreated a Snapple label where the nutrition panel on the back had all the answers, formulas, etc. Only got caught because I'd never seen the flavor before and wanted to see how much sugar was in it. I can imagine how worried they were when you inspected the bottle like, oh, how much sugar is in that? You're all failing. Everyone knows to cheat using peach Snapple. Idiots. I can name the worst, and I've definitely shared it before, but it wasn't my student, it was a friend's. She downloaded a worksheet for the kids to do while she was in a meeting of some sort. Kids found the worksheet's answer sheet online and proceeded to copy the answers. Last answer said, student responses will vary, and that's what one kid wrote as his answer. Other times, you'll see one kid misspells something or gets an answer wrong, and everyone who copied from him has the same error. This happened to our entire group of Ken's students last year. Everyone in the classes were cheating on the homework because the answers were always online. In the second semester, someone made the mistake of writing answers may vary, and the teacher finally realized we were all cheating. A classmate broke the screen and keyboard of his calculator and hid his cell phone in it, so it couldn't be seen from the teacher's position. The teacher approached him from behind and caught him though. BRB, bringing a calculator to a biology test. I brought one to a history exam, don't know why. Let's see, 7 years ago divided by 365 plus factor in the leap year day every 4 years, and yes, Paul Revere did warn us that the French were coming in the summer of 1797.237956688777777. I was a TA for anatomy and physiology. The professor would ask for me to sit in on finals to prevent cheating. One kid came in with a vitamin water. No worries, halfway through the test the professor noticed they kept turning the bottle and squinting. This goes on for another 20 minutes. Professor goes up, grabs the vitamin water bottle and rips off the label. It had a crib sheet written on the back. The students had gone to the effort to make a fake vitamin water bottle label and write notes on the back. The professor was impressed by the creativity and decided to give the student a 0 and not report them to the academic committee. He should have just studied and done that so he could write "suck fat nuts" on the inside. Imagine if the professor notices him squinting at the bottle and angrily snatches it only to realize it has "You can do it, Greg" written on the inside over and over again. We believe in you, Mom and Dad. Do you have any interesting or genius ways that you cheated on tests? Let us know in the comments below for a chance to be featured in an upcoming video. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more from the library. See you soon.